Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Matt again, and we're going to talk about another Iron Factory third party transformer. This time we have EX-69 Hammer of Morax, or their Killbison, their second member of their Breast Force team. So, obviously, I already did Drill Horn, so this is the next one up in the line that released. Of course, not much all to talk about for the box. Pretty standard stuff for Iron Factory. Obviously, Iron Factory 2024. Good side profile shot, and some more promo images on the back. Instructions, same one they always come with. It's always purple for the Decepticons, red for the Autobots. Obviously, this is a Decepticon, so it's going to be purple. Nice CAD shots. I'm not going to go nuts over these instructions. It's kind of, their instructions. They're decent. Iron Factory is usually pretty good about their instructions. So let's talk about their accessories. Basically, same thing. I'll start with the combiner parts, much like I did with Drill Horn. So obviously, it comes with the so hated combiner leg. Obviously, I already said in my Drill Horn video, I don't mind this at all. It's basically the exact same thing as what Drill Horn got, except it has some different deco. Like the treads here are different, a little bit different stuff back here. The front plate's different, but more or less the same thing. So I'm not going to dwell on that very long. We also get another one of these. Same one that came with Drill Horn with all the articulated points, probably for a staff or a mace or something. And then we're going to get a new piece here for like a hammerhead or something, probably for the big combined weapon. Whatever this part is going to end up being, I do not know yet, but we get this. As far as accessories for Drill Horn himself, we're going to get another one of these posts. Just like we did with Drill Horn, and we're going to get 2 of these spear pieces, just like we did with him. So we can make that dual-headed spear that they all used. So we have that. And then, of course, we just have a whole bunch of hand accessories. We have more of these salute hands or karate chop hands. We have some open expressive hands. We have some holding hands, and we have another flip-off hand, another middle finger hand. Cool. All right. And, of course, with his Breastmaster, because they all come with their Breastmasters, we have the regular plate to just go right on his chest. It's real thin. We have the gun mode, which is just a solid piece. Looks good. And then we have the actual Breastmaster himself. So I will go over this more when we actually talk about the main figure. All right, so here he is. Here is Killbison in his anti-air tank mode, I think is what it is. At least it looks similar, like a anti-air artillery thing. But yeah, it's a pretty chunky looking tank. It's a little cartoony looking, but I think it looks pretty good for what it is. But we got this nice like radar or something back here. The cannons on the front. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Again, I like that gunmetal color that they used for the treads, like they did on Killbison. But yeah, the underside, you can see a little bit of robot stuff there, but I think it cleans up pretty good. No treads or no wheels or anything on the bottom of this, so it can't roll. But whatever. But yeah, this part can move up and down. It can't spin or anything. But these little cannons can move up a little bit, and this is actually on a ball joint, so this whole thing can rotate around to your heart's content, however you want it to. But yeah, there he is. And same thing with Drill Horn. The only one that can actually go on here, like for the Breastmaster in his alt mode, is this one. I don't think there's enough clearance for this to fit on there. There might be. Probably not. But Doesn't really matter that much to me, but this, you can put that on there if you want to. But let's go ahead and transform him. So to get started, we're going to kind of just move this out of the way, lift it up a little bit. And I'm actually going to rotate it around the other way because that's the way that it has to go. So just kind of get all this positioned and ready. We're going to go down here to the what will be the feet and just kind of pull down on them and pull this part out like this so that it will form his toes. And these eat me up so bad because these parts are kind of sharp. There we go. So those can come out like that. All right, and then for here, these little parts here, these little panels need to lift off of here. Right there, they hook into this part, so lift that off like that. And then this whole part here will just kind of come loose. So just kind of pull that out of the way, and we're going to extend the legs. So just extend them out. These little white panels here, pull them down so it has clearance to do so. And then you see when you pull them down, there's these little slots here for these pegs, which you just push into place to lock them. And then just kind of position those how we want them to. And then we're going to separate the legs. And then the legs here, so this is kind of, the instructions tell you to just rotate these. Don't do that. You can kind of pull them out a little bit because if you just rotate them, you're going to really gouge the hell out of this part here, which I kind of already did. So it's kind of tricky, but you kind of need to apply a little bit of pressure here to kind of get it past there. And then once it's past that point, it can just rotate out. I've seen a lot of people have been damaging that part of the paint. So that's just kind of a way that you can avoid it. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to stretch it like that, but just keeping from damaging the figure. But just rotate this all the way around 180 degrees. And then this part here, this will just kind of angle down and in, if it will allow me to. And then you just kind of rotate it around to the other side, and then this part will angle up, and then it will just sit against the back of the leg like that. So same thing, angle these out, and these can be really temperamental. All right, rotate them around, angle that up, push that against the back of the leg like that. Okay, so onto the arms. So for the arms, we're going to lift them up on the shoulder joint here so that we have a little bit more clearance. And then we're going to go back here, and the forearm, this will be the forearm part right here. You just pull out off of that tab so that it comes off of here, and then this entire tread section here will rotate up onto there, and then the entire arm part here, the whole shoulder part, will rotate independently from here, and then this little panel will just kind of close down onto that part. And then the hand will just rotate out like this. So there's one arm done. Other arm, pull this part out, bring this up, bring that down, push that panel down, push that panel up, pull the hand out. All right. Okay, so now the head here, you need to kind of position the waist forwards, pull that down so you have clearance. This panel will open up here, and that panel will open up there. And then using this little tab here, we can pull his big noggin out with his horns. This one works a lot better than drill horn does. It's easier to get his head in and out. But just put that back, and then just kind of position this however. This plate just kind of sits there, so you can kind of sit it back like this over the top of this to kind of hold it in place, and then you just kind of position the cannons however you would like them positioned. But there he is. There is Killbison. There's Killbison all transformed. Now I will say, this guy definitely feels a little bit less, like, he doesn't have as much cohesion to him. He's like, all the stuff back here doesn't really tab in anywhere. It just kind of exists, and it just kind of gets in the way. Same thing with his shoulders. His shoulders are just kind of big and bulky and just kind of get in the way of everything. So just keep that in mind. I mean, aesthetically, he looks fantastic. He looks really nice and beefy, like I think that he should. But he does have a whole lot of kibble going on his back, obviously. But yeah. So as far as his accessories, obviously he can hold any of them and swap out his hands, just like Drillhorn did with the little ball joints. One thing that I in particular like to do is I like to take this piece here, because it kind of looks like a big old hammer. I like to take one of the spearheads off of this thing, and then you can actually put it inside this post here, and then you can give him a big hammer. I think that looks really cool. So that's how usually I have mine displayed on my shelf. Just wanted to show you that you could do that. But as far as his Breastmaster buddy, so this is his the actual one in its chest mode, and just with this little post here, it goes right into that big glaring obvious hole, and it can just peg in right like that. And again, I don't think that it looks very good at all. I think it looks kind of crappy. But it looks better than drill horns, that's for sure. But it is a thing that you can do. I do not want to do it, though. But his other chest plate goes on just fine, like this. You got to kind of fit it between his shoulder pauldrons, and I think that looks great. That looks really good, as intended. To get this into the gun mode, all that you have to do is flip out the little barrel here, and then it is now the gun mode, which obviously he can hold just fine. Or you can use the better gun, because this is the better version of it, the more cartoonified version of it, which I think just looks better in every way. But we can, of course, transform this into the Bison Breastmaster, or Bison mode, whatever it is, but into its animal mode. So the little head here will just rotate up, and then the handle will just push into here. The feet will come down on these little ball joints, and then these arms will come out, and then on these joints they will just come down to complete him. So there he is. There is the little bison, little bull. Oops. So yeah, cute little tiny little animal. But let's talk about Killbison's articulation. So the head is on a ball joint, and there is a little swivel in the base of the neck, so you can get a little bit of rocking back and forth. It is a ball joint, so he's got obviously a lot of expressive poses that you can do with his face. And by the way, let's get close in on that face too, because it does look really good. Obviously killing it with those head sculpts, but he looks great. I love the pink eyes. But for his torso, there's a joint down here in the torso, but you're going to notice these shoulders get in the way of everything. He can only get about that far up with both the ball joint and with the actual inner torso part, and it pushes his head out of the way because of his horns. So you can't really get very far up. You can get 360 degrees on the arm, which is good, but they just kind of get in the way of everything. Mushroom peg down here on the upper arm, which will give you 360 degrees if you can work it around that plate here. Obviously, it's kind of a pain in the butt. But we do have a dual hinge elbow, but we can't get it very far because of the shoulders, so you can only get it about that far. Have a ball jointed wrist, which is good. He's got a really good gnarly ab crunch. Looks really good. His butt plate is also articulated, so you can get that out of the way for his hips, and his front skirts are articulated too. Speaking of his hips, they are on ball joints, so you can get them that far forwards, that far back, that far out. There is a swivel here at the thigh, so you can get 360 degrees on that. He does have a double joint knee, so we can get only about that far though, because of the treads back here, so 90 degrees. His foot, his toe here anyways, is on a ball joint here, and then the toe itself is on a little hinge. So you can get his ankle tilts and all that. So yeah, definitely articulation is not nearly as good as drill horn, just because of the amount of stuff going on this thing. He's a big bulky guy, which doesn't really matter all that much to me. I mean, he's articulated enough to get the point across. I mean, this guy's supposed to be like the big heavy hitter anyways to me, so I'm okay with it. And as far as size comparisons, here he is with Iron Factory's Soundwave. Here he is with one of the Seeker molds, Iron Factory's Starscream. And here's a couple of their bigger figures. Here he is with Iron Factory's Tarn. And I'll move the camera a little bit to fit him in here. Here he is with Megatron. And of course, here he is with his fellow Breastmaster. There he is with Drillhorn. And I'll also show off here real quick. Here are both of their Breastmasters together. There's the Rhino and the Bison. So there they are as well. So final thoughts on IF EX-69 Hammer of Morax Killbison. Really good. I really like him. His tolerance is a little bit better. His articulation's a little bit worse, but I think it's fine because he's a big beefy guy. I've definitely seen worse on figures. Definitely seen better, but definitely seen worse. Obviously, this guy being the other leg, he does share a lot of similarities with Drillhorn and the mold, so it's kind of like that one's shortcomings are also this one's shortcomings, and it's kind of like multiplied or exemplified by the addition of the additional, like all the extra armor and stuff. But yeah, obviously a ton of different options with like the hands and different accessories and stuff. Which is always good. So yeah, this is shaping up to be a really good combiner team from Iron Factory. But yeah, if you made it this far in the video, of course, thank you as always. I really appreciate it. Please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you want to give me a follow on any of my social medias, I have a link tree in the description that will lead you to wherever you need to find me. And yeah. Well, thank you for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.